Have you ever wondered where Shazam and Black Adam even came from? Welcome to the Complete Story Series, where we take trade paperbacks and single issues and we break them down into digestible bites to help you understand. Then we read it dramatically back to you. All alterations to the panels, text, and images are to prevent copyright problems, and all art is owned by its respective companies. Today, we are finally going to be bringing you the origin of Shazam and Black Adam. Our story begins with a myth, a tale, a legend if you will. People go by their day-to-day lives and each tells a tale that they were magically transported to a weird place. These stories are all being collected by Dr. Savannah because he's looking for any truth to the stories about an old legend named Black Adam. As the story goes, Black Adam was a slave until one day he walked through a door in his cell and he found himself in the Rock of Eternity. It is here that he was granted the powers of a champion to save his people and set them free from the 7 sins that had enslaved them. Then, he vanished from history. But why is Dr. Savannah looking for Black Adam? He needs magic. It's the only thing that can save his family where science has failed. But then he vanished. Meanwhile, a young boy named Billy Batson is getting placed into another foster home. He's been a constant problem for each home that he's been in, and each time he's been thrown back to the orphanage that he stays at. It's Christmas in the city, and while Billy pretends that he cares about finding a good home, he doesn't care. It's another home that he can run away from eventually. No one wants him around. As he's brought to the house, his new family is crazy excited to meet him, and he meets them. There's Mary, Freddie, Pedro, Eugene, and Darla! Darla is the most excited out of all of them because this means that she has a new brother. But Billy, in the infinite wisdom of a 15-year-old, tells her he's not her brother, and they are family. None of these kids are. Darla runs off crying, and Mary throws Billy into their room. She tries to talk some sense into him, but Billy ignores her and blows her off, leading her to realize Billy cares about no one but himself. How sad is that? The next day, the kids all go to school after breakfast, and they try to show Billy around, but as usual, he's blowing them all off until he finds them being picked on. So he decides to fight the 3 kids being mean to the others, and he successfully beats them all up until the principal shows up. It's in the principal's office that she explains to Billy's foster dad that Billy is a series of problems. Every school has kicked him out, and it's a bad record. To make matters worse, the father of the kids that Billy beat up is Mr. Breyer, a very respected businessman in the city who is funding many of the school's endeavors. And he's not a nice man at all. Across the world at this time, though, Dr. Savannah is finally making progress as his men have found a magical wall that once he touches, channels the magical energies into his body, allowing him to see magic. Back with Billy, he begins packing his bags that night and he walks out the door. But another of the boys, Freddie, sees him leaving and assumes that he is running away, so he follows him to see where he's going. He finds Billy sitting in the zoo talking to the local tiger, Tawny. He walks over and he tells him, "Don't leave, Billy. Give the family a shot." But Billy explains that he was just there to feed the tiger. The tiger is the only thing in his family picture other than his parents that he can see, and he can't find his parents. So once Freddie realizes that Billy isn't running away, he begins to head back. But he stops to thank Billy for helping them earlier. Those kids are always picking on them, and it meant a lot to the family. Billy asks what he means by always, and Freddie tells him that they get picked on every day. Luckily, Freddie delays them while Mary gets the others away. This only makes Billy angrier, so the 2 of them decide to get back at the Breyer family and their rotten father. Meanwhile, Dr. Savannah goes deeper into the tomb of Black Adam as he can now read the magical symbols, and he finds an interesting keyword etched into the tomb, one that supposedly can free the man behind it. Shazam! The wall explodes, throwing the doctor back, and there stands Black Adam. Back with the kids, they're trying to hotwire Mr. Breyer's car, but they end up setting off the alarm. Realizing that Freddie can't run on his crutches, Billy tells him to hide in a bush, and he makes a run for it. The kids come out of the house and they begin chasing Billy across the city, past the cars causing them to swerve, and down into the subway tunnels where Billy boards the train, and then at a crack of lightning, is no longer in the city. The smoke clears and he finds himself in the Rock of Eternity. He walks around seeing all of the magical artifacts kept there, and he even walks past a talking mirror, talking worm, and a talking suit of armor. He follows a voice telling him to walk towards the light and passes some interesting looking altars dedicated to the 7 sins until he reaches an old man named the Wizard. The old man exclaims that he must be getting weaker if his magic brought a child here, but Billy tries to argue, telling him that he's not a child and asking him where he is. So after explaining that they are located on the Rock of Eternity, the greatest of the magical fortresses to ever exist, the wizard stands up and asks, "Is this the mystical warrior that I seek? Is this boy pure good?" The wizard can see all of Billy's troubles, problems, and attitude and deems him not pure good. But Billy asks him, "You're looking for someone pure good? That person doesn't exist." The wizard tells him that he is wrong, and he will find this person. But Billy asks him, "How long have you been looking?" "A very long time. It doesn't exist. I've tried to be good in the world, but the world will just bring you down and disappoint you. But those words rang in the wizard's head. You tried to be good? So he hits Billy again with another question. Does this boy have the embers of good in him? And the wizard sees it. He sees the good in Billy, saving people, feeding the tiger, saving Freddy. So the wizard decides that he has to try this. He has no other option with Black Adam back in the world. And he tells the boy, say the word Shazam, and my power is yours. Shazam? Say it with purpose, Billy! Shazam! The wizard explains that Billy is now the power of living lightning, and he has the strength of a demigod. But he now has to stop Black Adam from awakening the 7 sins. And remember, beyond his flight and strength, Shazam's greatest power is in the spells that he can weave, and his ultimate power, family. Then, the wizard collapses, and as Shazam reaches out to him, he's teleported back in front of the Byer family's home. Freddy is face down in the snow as Billy reappears as Shazam. And then Freddy begins running off screaming until Shazam grabs him. Freddy, it's me, Billy! Freddy looks terrified, but then he can see it in Shazam's eyes. That is Billy! So Billy explains everything and Freddy is amazed. The first thing they do is test Shazam's new powers by lifting up Mr. Byer's car and then crushing it before running off laughing. They then try to figure out what they should do now that Billy is a superpowered adult, and of course, their first idea is to buy beer. But how? Neither of them has money. Luckily at that moment, a woman is getting mugged, so Shazam puts the crook through a car, and the woman gives him $20 whole. Freddy decides that they're gonna be rich, and Shazam gives an arm pump with excitement. So they run off to buy Shazam a proper set of clothing and get their beer. But while this is going on, Dr. Sivana is trying to explain to Black Adam that the world has changed. And the first thing Black Adam sees is protesters standing outside of a big corporate building. He figures the wizard did what he said he would do. He got rid of magic from the world. But Black Adam can stop this by first helping these slaves. These slaves that are standing up against their pharaoh. He decides that things haven't changed at all outside of the lack of magic. He flies up to the top of the building and he pulls the man out of the building and drops him to the streets down below. The civilians all run for it because a man full of lightning just dropped a man from a building. And Black Adam is confused as to why they would be so scared of a man that just freed them. Ignoring them, Black Adam punches a hole in the ground and he drags Dr. Sivana down with him. He then makes a doorway to the Rock of Eternity and he discovers that he can't enter because the wizard has chosen another champion and only the champion can enter. Back with Shazam and Freddy, they end up next to an armed robbery that Shazam stops, and then they stop a man trying to break into a car, and then Shazam learns that he can fly, so they fly around for a little bit. Freddy says that it might be time for Billy to turn back and for them to go home, but Billy tells him he's never going back. Why would he? So Freddy walks off, calling Shazam a condescending fool. But at that moment, Shazam is hit with a blast of power from Black Adam. At last, I have found you. Who are you? You know who I am. Your costume looks like mine, but black, and that is way cooler. Did the wizard give you powers too? I am the rightful champion, the rightful keeper of the Rock of Eternity. And he hits Shazam hard! Shazam goes flying through the streets, through a Christmas tree, and into a building. He then gets up and he realizes that he's bleeding. But that's when Black Adam comes through a wall, slamming Shazam even further back. Shazam asks Black Adam to stop. Someone will get hurt. You picked the wrong person to fight with. And Shazam gets ready to throw a punch, but Black Adam catches it and throws him back into the streets. Shazam gets up, scared, and he calls out, Shazam! Turning back into Billy Batson, and he makes a break for it. Black Adam shouts, I will find you! And he begins throwing cars and buses around. Back at the house, Freddy sees what's happening on the news, and Freddy realizes that this guy is looking for Shazam. The rest of the kids ask, who's Shazam? Freddy takes the rest of the kids to the one spot that he assumes Billy is hiding at, the zoo with the tiger. They walk up and they find Billy there, telling himself that he isn't a hero, he's just a stupid kid. And then he turns and he sees the kids all there and asks them, what are they doing here? Darla tells him that they want to see him change into Shazam. You told them, Freddy? What choice did I have? There's a psycho tearing up the city. Who is he, Billy? I don't know. He wants to kill Shazam, not me. But if I turn into Shazam again, he'll find me. Mary walks up to Billy. You need to stop him. He's hurting people, and they need someone to save them. They need a hero, Billy. The wizard gave his magic to the wrong person, Mary. I'm only a kid. So Darla takes his hands. But you're not a stupid kid, Billy. So he thinks about it, and he decides that he'll go back to the Rock of Eternity and look for answers. He takes the kids back into the subway, and he tries to get the train to take them back to the Rock of Eternity. But it doesn't work. Then, all of the lights go out, and the woman in the mirror from earlier pops up in the iPad that one of the kids brought. She explains that only Billy can see her because he's linked to the magic, and she can appear on any reflective surface. She explains that he is linked to Black Adam forever, like family, and it is up to him to stop Black Adam. As the tunnel begins to crumble from the destruction of Black Adam above them, Billy asks her to help them. This isn't right, he shouldn't be Shazam! If I recall properly, Billy, and I often do, the wizard said the potential was in you. You convinced him of that. You have the potential to be the world's mightiest mortal. Mortal being the word to remember in this instance. Yes, you can die, but I speak of the spirit. You are fallible, Billy Batson, we all are. How do you think I ended up as the face of the Wonderlands? But it is the mistakes, trials, and tragedies that we face and overcome, both within ourselves and throughout the realms, that makes us more than mortals. The good we do in life is what makes us immortal. Look, I need to go back. I need to give this power back to the wizard. Even if he were still around, he could not take back what he has given. That is why Black Adam still holds his power, and why you are the only one left to stop him. Well, who the hell is he anyway? So she explains that a long time ago, there was a slave boy that was torn away from his family, and he would close his eyes and he would pray for help until finally it did come in the form of his uncle. His uncle was injured trying to save his nephew, but the boy refused to leave him alone, and then they were both teleported to the Rock of Eternity. Billy stops her right there. No way, he's a kid like me? He drops the iPad with the woman in the mirror telling him, wait, there's more to the story. But he runs upstairs as fast as he can and he goes straight to Black Adam. He then stands there in front of him. I'm Billy Batson, and I am Shazam. I know why you're lashing out, about those that hurt you. I know you are only angry because of how scared you really are. And Black Adam grabs him. You think I'm scared? And he grabs Billy by the mouth, keeping him from talking. That's when the magic shows him the rest of Black Adam's story. The boy asked the wizard to save his uncle. They showed him how to use his powers to heal his uncle, and then they returned home where the boy wanted to start a new era. One of mercy, to forgive those that wronged him and his uncle. But as he began to say the words to call down his new power, his uncle Adam killed him and took the power for himself. Billy, with terror in his eyes, realizes the mistakes that he's made. But that's when the kids all drive a truck into Black Adam, forcing him to drop Billy. He hits the ground and Billy shouts, Shazam! While this is going on, Black Adam's plan is finally coming to light. He spent his first few hours rounding up the 7 sins, and now they are free as he sets them loose on the city. Black Adam then holds all of the kids hostage and demands Shazam release his power to Black Adam. He doesn't know what to do. The sins are destroying the city. Black Adam has his family, so he agrees to give up his power. The woman in the mirror appears to Shazam in a puddle. Don't forget what the wizard told you. Family is what it can be, not what it should be. The secret spell! He shouts Shazam! And he sends his power across the street towards Black Adam. Black Adam shouts yes! And then he pauses. I don't feel any different. Behind him now stands the family, the Shazam family! Billy spread his power to his new family. They turn to Shazam. What do we do, Billy? Get him? All the kids tackle Black Adam. Black Adam throws a few of them off, but then each one of them starts doing slight damage to him. Even though he is able to handle them individually, he can't handle them together. So Shazam and Mary Marvel throw him through a nearby building. But then they see the being made up of all 7 sins rampaging through the city. So he asks his family to take care of the civilians and get them out of the city while he handles Black Adam alone. They begin their battle with the 7 sins while Shazam heads off to the local zoo where Black Adam landed. Black Adam jumps on him right from the bat and then he throws him into a nearby building, setting Tawny the Tiger free. As he goes in to finish Shazam, Tawny jumps on Adam, so Adam throws him aside. Seeing his animal friend is now injured, Shazam spreads his power even further, turning Tawny into his animal avatar. Tawny, now the size of a building, jumps on Black Adam, but Shazam feels his powers weakening as he is now damaging the spells that he has already cast because he's casting them improperly. Black Adam sees this as his chance as the two of them take their fight into the skies. You are no champion! You are only a boy, he shouts. As Black Adam throws him into another building, all of the kids begin to lose their powers. So Shazam has another idea, and he screams, Shazam! Turning back into Billy Batson. He looks up at Adam. You're no hero, you're a bully. And Black Adam grabs him by his shirt and he holds him up. So Billy offers a deal. I don't want anyone else to get hurt. Let's take this fight outside of the city. A fair fight, and if you win, I'll give up the power. If I win, you leave and you never come back. No, Adam says, smiling. Then kill me. Kill another kid. Tell yourself it's for the good of the world. Adam grits his teeth, and then he shouts, Shazam! Turning himself back into his former self. He looks in shock at his own reflection. He hasn't even seen himself since he turned into Black Adam all of those years ago, when he sacrificed his own nephew. Billy tells him, I guessed right. You haven't changed back since the moment you murdered your nephew, have you? And that was centuries ago. Adam realizes what he just did and he jumps at Billy, but he begins to age to his proper age. First old, then frail, then dust. Billy then shouted, Shazam! Changing back, which was enough to scare the 7 sins as they scattered into the winds, ending their reign on the city. All of the kids cheered and Billy smiled, while the woman in the puddle told him, magic has his champion again. And thus, the tale of Shazam's origin has been told. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and sadly there is no follow-up to this story, so we did have to drop a couple of things that were probably intended to tell you more Shazam storylines. I am hoping that more comes out about him, but as of right now, this is the only dedicated Shazam storyline. So like I said, I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time right here at Comicstorian.